to the America Show. I'm your host, Erica. So today is a very special panel discussion that we are going to do, and we have three great personalities, very dignified, very accomplished from our community. So there will be three countries, and I'm going to sing a portion of some songs for each of these people and the country they belong to. So the first country is Pakistan, and I'm going to sing in Urdu. माना की मुहब्बत का छुपाना है मुहब्बत माना की मुहब्बत का छुपाना है मुहब्बत माना 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 की मुहब्बत का छुपाना है मुहब्बत माना की मुहब्बत का छुपाना है मुहब्बत चुपके से किसी रोज जताने के लिए आ रंजिशी सही आ फिर से मुझे छोड़ के जाने के लिए आ रंजिशी सही दिल ही दुखाने के लिए आ रंजिशी सही रंजिशी सही रंजिशी सही
Very nice, very nice.
Next is for India in the language Hindi. तू अगर उदास होगा तो उदास होंगी मैं भी तू अगर उदास होगा तो उदास होंगी मैं भी नजर आऊं या ना आऊं तेरे पास होंगी मैं भी तू कहीं भी जा रहेगा मेरा साया साथ होगा तू जहाँ जहाँ चलेगा मेरा साया मेरा साया मेरा साया मेरा साया मेरा साया Okay, so now I'm going to sing for Bangladesh in the language Bangla. তোমার মুক্ত কেশের পুঞ্জ মেঘে লুকায় অশনি তোমার আঁচল ঝলে আকাশ তলে রুদ্র বসনি তোমার মুক্ত কেশের পুঞ্জ মেঘে লুকায় অশনি তোমার আঁচল ঝলে আকাশ তলে রুদ্র বসনি উগুমা তোমায় দেখে দেখে আঁখি না ফিরে তোমার দুয়ার আছে খুলে গেছে সোনার মন্দিরে ওগো মা আজি বাংলাদেশের হৃদয় হতে কখন আপনি তুমি এই অপরূপ রূপে বাহির হলে জননী ওগো মা তোমায় দেখে দেখে আঁখি না ফিরে তোমার দুয়ার আজি খুলে গেছে সোনার মন্দিরে ওগো মা ওগো মা
Very nice.
Beautiful.
A very happy Father's Day to all the fathers of the world. Today we have gathered not as three nations separated by borders, but as one nation connected by history, culture, language, and the unbreakable spirit of South Asia. Our rivers flow from the same mountains, our music carries the same rhythms, and our hearts beat with the same longing for peace, dignity, and progress. For too long, the story of our region has been written in the language of division. But we are here to begin a new chapter, one written in the ink of cooperation, trust, and shared destiny. We are heirs to civilizations that give the world mathematics, poetry, architecture, philosophy, and some of the richest cultural traditions known to humanity. The world admires our cuisine, decors, films, festivals, and our resilience. Imagine what we could achieve if we combined our strengths instead of counting our differences. Unity is strength and power. Let this moment be a reminder that unity is not the eraser of identity, it is the celebration of diversity. Peace is not weakness, it is the highest form of courage. Collaboration is not compromise, it is the foundation of prosperity. Today we choose dialogue over distrust, hope over hostility, and shared progress over isolated ambition. Let us build bridges in trade, education, climate action, technology, and cultural exchange. Let us create a future where a child in Islamabad or Delhi or Dhaka grows up believing that cooperation is natural and conflict is unthinkable. The world is watching, our people are waiting, and history is ready for a new beginning. Together, Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh can transform South Asia into a region of peace, innovation, and limitless possibilities. Let us rise, not as three nations, but as one family with one future. Introducing Dr. Faiq Hamidi, who is MD, MPH, is board-certified psychiatrist with extensive expertise in psychopharmacology, addiction medicine, and forensic psychiatry. Dr. Hamidi is a diplomat of the American Board of Psychiatry and Neurology, the American Board of Addiction Medicine, and the American Board of Forensic Examiners, and is certified by the American Society of Clinical Psychopharmacology. His distinguished career spans clinical practice, academic leadership, and pioneering research in substance use disorders, mood disorders, and psychopharmacology. He has authorized numerous peer-reviewed publications and delivered extensive national presentations on addiction, dual diagnosis, and psychiatric treatment advancements. Under his leadership, the charity has established its own school and scholarship program, providing access to quality education and vocational training for underserved children and families. Through this philanthropic initiative, Dr. Faiq Hamidi extends his lifelong commitment to healing and empowerment beyond clinical practice to meaningful global community impact. Dr. Nitin Gupta is a board-certified pediatrician and the founder-owner of Rivertown's Pediatrics in Dobbs Ferry. He has also been an active member of the Rivertown's Chamber of Commerce and the Rivertown's Rotary Club, where he served as a board member for many years. In December 2025, Dr. Gupta was sworn in as a trustee for the village of Dobbs Ferry. He is the first person of South Asian origin to serve as a trustee in Dobbs Ferry. Ishrat Jahan was born in Bangladesh and is living in US for 30 years. She is living in Ardsley for 11 years with a profession in IT supporting research and science technology. She works in Regeneron Pharmaceuticals. Her hobbies are gardening, cooking, event planning, jewelry making, arts and crafts, hiking and walking and reading. She speaks Bengali, English, Hindi, and Urdu. She is a member of AMDI, Ardsley Multicultural Diversity and Inclusion in AMC, Ardsley Maker Club, previously Sakhi for South Asian survivors. So now it's the question answer time, the QA time, which is my favorite time. So the first question I'm going to ask Dr. Faiq Hamidi, who is a Pakistani American. So Faiq, mental health is a vital issue. We often see people around us with anxiety, frustration, depression, panic, and various mood swings. What are your techniques and future plan for a better psychiatric treatment?
Well, thank you very much, Gargi, for a nice, generous introduction. I think it's always very, very confusing what is a psychiatric diagnosis. But we all have certain behaviors. We all go through different emotionals up and down. We all have some behaviors which may not be as adjustable or accommodating as we are, but it's not considered a psychiatric disorder. Your behavior, thinking, or your behavior becomes very, very dysfunctional in different areas of life, like your interpersonal relationships, your economic affairs, your family affairs, and your personal distress. That, if it leads to significant impairment in that functioning, then we call it disorder. So primarily there are two kinds of disorders. One is that impacts your functioning yourself, and you are generally aware of it. The other ones are called personality disorders, where you are not aware of those things, but you have certain pattern of behavior that you continue to do, which impacts your interaction in different areas of life. So major psychiatric disorders include anxiety disorders, which are very common. About 20% of Americans suffer from severe anxiety disorders. Then you have mood disorders. Then you have psychotic disorder. These are the major psychiatric issues. And then you have some mood regulation issues like bipolar disorder. So what I will generally say that anxiety disorders are very common. You have obsessive compulsive disorder, you have panic disorder, you have generalized anxiety disorder, and there are some other disorders. In mood disorders, we generally define the major depressive disorders, when people become extremely depressed, and that to an extent that sometimes they start thinking about not wanting to live or wanting to die. And then you have some mood regulation issues when you have severe depression followed by severe manic behavior, when you are excessively preoccupied with anger or irritability, and sometimes very euphorically manic, not sleeping at night, and not relating to people very well. And then you have psychotic disorder, when you primarily having significant problem with your thinking process. And then you start having some perceptual disorders, when you start perceiving things which are not real, like hallucinations, you become delusional, you become agitated, aggressive, or sometimes you become very socially isolated. So these are some psychiatric disorders that we deal with, and they are becoming more and more common. And one of the major psychiatric disorders that we are now addressing is a substance abuse disorder. So it's becoming a major issue now, and we have to work on finding proper treatment for primary psychiatric disorders so people do not start using substances to self-treat themselves. So these are some major psychiatric disorders
Right.
that...
Okay, so the next question goes to Dr. Nitin. So, what age group of children do you deal with what has been your toughest challenge so far as per your profession?
All right. Well, thank you for having me. The age ranges of children that pediatrics typically deals with is 0 to 25 years of age. I do have some college kids that I'm still, once they graduate, we're trying to usher them out to find an adult doctor. So that's still a bit of a challenge for us. But one of the major challenges that we deal with as pediatricians, I think a lot has to do with medical misinformation that is out there. And I think a lot of that actually has to do with how much time and access parents and adults, patients in general, have with their doctors. It's becoming increasingly difficult for patients in America to actually even see their doctor regularly. And when they do, it's rarely more than 7 minutes. And so I think these are some of the major issues that are affecting people in America.
I see. Okay. Now I'm going to ask Ishrat. So, how have you been related and associated to Ardsley Multicultural Diversity and Inclusion? What are your contributions?
Oh, great question, and thank you for having me here. Definitely. So, when I first moved to Ardsley, I came from New York City, had a baby day after we moved into a new house, second baby, and then with the toddler. So, it was first few years pretty rough, but then once my son started the kindergarten, that allowed me to actually meet many parents, and I made some friends, and then I started getting involved with the PTA. So all through my meeting, I met very good friends of my, Sania, Bushra Sadiq, and everyone. And then when I think the kindergarten, the International Day was brought us some idea, and when I saw that there's actually they wanted to create this organization called AMD Multi. I was like, this is my opportunity to be involved, also connected with everyone in diversity that are representing Ardsley, and see what we can do something for that. And that's the curiosity and desire to do something for the community that I want to call it home for my children. And the first very project we had many other sessions, but the real actual active project we did is the Ardsley quilt.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a story quilt. So what was a great idea is that we asked the volunteers or family members to create a block with embroidery, of course, and with the story of their family, or what a story of Ardsley, somehow why Ardsley, they wanted to move to Ardsley, what Ardsley means to them. So this allows us to connect with and learn about each other. Not only that, we were actually helping each other with the sewing style, new style, and everything. So it brought us, it was like a routine, like almost every month we met. And when the final product came in, it's like now we're going to have it in the Ardsley townhouse. I believe right now it's hanging in the Greenberg Library. And that gave us a really good sense of accomplishment. And with that journey, we started continue. We have many projects, and now how we can actually arts and craft, we can contribute. So let's do crochet for hospital kids, the toys or the blanket. So we are all coming up with the new ideas, and then everyone can actually through craft give something back. So that's the whole idea.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so question 2 for Faiq. Please briefly discuss the benefits and side effects or consequences of certain treatment or therapy related to psychiatry.
Well, it's a very interesting time in the field of psychiatry. In the old days, if you had some chronic psychiatric disorder like bipolar disorder or schizophrenia, you were locked up in a psychiatric hospital for the rest of your life. New York has the biggest hospital in history of mankind in Long Island. It's called Pilgrim State Psychiatric Center. I gave a lot of lectures over there, and that hospital had 50,000 psychiatric patients locked up for the rest of their life. Now, there are barely 100 patients in that hospital. So building after building. So psychiatry and mental health has developed tremendously successful treatment over a period of time. I was director for research and psychopharmacology at Yale University School of Medicine, and I was very intricately involved in the ultimate biology of human brain. And I'm amazed at how these chronic psychiatric patients are becoming smaller and smaller issues. But still, the issue is that we don't have proper psychosocial interventions available. Most of the time, people are under so much stress because of the economic issues, social issues, housing issues, that it leads to decompensations and non-adherence with treatment. So now we have a lot of injectable medications, so you don't have to worry about chasing your patient every day. So you can give them injections every month, every 2 months, every 6 months, and the patients are reasonably stable. So it's a very good time, but the problem is that we do not have enough psychosocial interventions available. You know, there are a lot of very, very successful treatments available, including individual therapies where we do cognitive behavioral therapy, we do dialectical behavioral therapy. They're very effective. And the medication-wise, we have very good anti-anxiety medications with minimum side effects. We have very good antidepressants. We have mood stabilizers. And then the most important thing, one of the most exciting thing is that we have these injectable medicines. So there's tremendous progress in the field of mental health, and we need to just seek proper help at proper time, and things should be under control.
Thank you so much. Okay, so question 2 for Nitin. What is your approach to wellness, vaccines, antibiotics, and sleep training?
All right. So actually, in trying to keep it in under a minute, so I will do this. So actually, one of the things that makes my practice very unique is we provide the access to have more time with us. Also, our parents can actually just directly text the pediatricians. So a lot of that, any wellness questions, our appointments are about an hour long for all the physicals. Parents never have to come in with that laundry list. They can always just text us anytime to get those questions answered. Vaccines are extremely important. We don't take families that don't vaccinate their children. It's just, that's a hard stop. We know the safety and we know the data, and due to medical misinformation around this country, we are now seeing vaccine preventable illnesses. Now here's the issue. We now have generations of doctors who have never seen those diseases. We don't know how to manage that. I don't know how to manage an iron lung. Do you?
No,
So this is an issue. So I think if we can continue to increase the access, be able to have trusted advice, a trusted discussion between the families and patients, I think we can go a long way. Sleep training, I'm not even going to go near because I have a Indian mother-in-law who moved in with us. So, the American sleep training versus Desi sleep training, very different.
Exactly.
Okay, so question 2 for Ishrat. Since you are in IT, do you think that AI is eating up the jobs leading to an acute unemployment? Are there any fixes?
It's like that. I guess the question is in a hot topic nowadays. I think that question I always ask, like, what can not AI do? Like, the AI is everywhere, right? So that if you can identify what AI cannot do, that's kind of like your answer right there. And eating up a job is just like there are time thing change at least in the IT changes, like coding. Web developer was at some point was very hard and it's a niche job, but then that changed. The language changed, the technology changed. So now I think it may affect some job, but idea is forcing people to adapt, and looks like how you can get the AI help your current job, not necessarily. Okay, I'm not going to not let AI take over and you lose a job, right? So you can enhance your reporting, even the simplest form, like, okay, rewrite my emails, like integrated, get adopted. And I think that's why like you could still blend in and keep grow with AI rather than like, okay, AI is not for me or AI is taking my job, having that fear. So we have to embrace it. Unfortunately or fortunately, this is it. It's everywhere. It's even if you don't know it, maybe soon that this room will start recording and the technology behind will be using AI. So
Okay, got you. Okay, so very brief answer for question 3. So, Faiq, Pakistan has been in wars with India several times. The last one was Operation Sindoor. How can you make the ties better with India? Do you believe in an open trade policy, especially between both Kashmirs?
I think the very interesting question in the modern world is that how do you manage the finances and economic situations in your country? Because especially in our part of the world, population growth is really explosive. And unless you find some employment or some social structure that will be able to sustain their mental and social, it's going to be very hard. It's very important that we have to cooperate with each other. It doesn't make any difference. I moved from Pakistan to America. American culture is very different from Pakistan, but we somehow accommodated. Same thing with India. Before we all became separate, we were one country. We still have very similar culture, very, very similar languages, very, very similar music, because music is something which brings you together no matter where you are. Mm-hmm. And that is something, instead of us finding some common grounds, we pick on one difference, which in this situation may be Kashmir, but it's not the main issue. That what we have to find some common grounds and work together for the sake of the people, because it's going to be a big disaster in another 10, 15 years if it's not taken care of. And peace between all these three countries is extremely important.
Inevitable. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Nitin, Pakistan and India have never come to a table talk as per any bilateral talk, you can say. How do you see the future of these two countries? Can the broken ends be repaired?
They need to come to the table. There's actually no reason. And I was born and raised in California. I grew up at a time where there were very few Indian families or Pakistani or Bangladeshi families. So when we actually encountered another Desi family, we didn't ask, are you
exactly
from Pakistan or are you from Bangladesh? We didn't know. My parents would hug them, invite them over for dinner. We eat the same food. We have the same culture.
Yep.
We bleed the same blood. So I guess this is where I would upset my parents. If my father was alive today, he would be upset with me. I don't get it. I think put down your arms, come together. Because we did. 6 years ago, we had a pandemic. The world came together. We flattened the curve. We put down our arms. We stopped the fighting. So why can't we do that again?
Exactly. I completely agree with you. Okay, Ishrat.
Yes.
Bangladesh has a lot of economic and social pressure ever since East Pakistan became Bangladesh in 1971. So what is the future of Bangladesh in the next 5 years?
I don't have the magic 8 ball. I wish I had, but I find it promising. So even though there's a social and definitely the economic challenges with the population growth, small country, lack of natural resources, and growing debt, but I also see there's the promises is that the technology adoption, which is kind of roadway to stay on track and opens up opportunity. So I think Bangladesh need to continue to that. Like our subway system is extremely modern, like the all electronic, all automated car system, which is something like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, people in Bangladesh probably thought it was just only available in a Western country, right? So I think they need to continue the telecommunication technology on that. But on the other hand, that with this like the politics and power. Power always often, at some point when people stay in a power for too long, it's become too personal, greed, and there's some sorts of abuse and the wealth distribution doesn't happen. So that's a one thing. And if there's one way you could just reduce the gap between a middle class versus lower class, because we have a super higher class, very rich, ultra poor, struggling middle class, and there's a little upper middle class, and these gaps are very big.
One question that I want to ask all three of you. What is your take on the Iran war?
I think my take on Iran war is that we get, being an American for 45 years, it's been a very, very stressful for us to see that American policies basically follow something which psychologically will not work. These days, you cannot make a 5-year-old child do things if the child doesn't want to do it. You cannot make a whole country change the way they are thinking just by bombarding them or doing things. There have to be some better way of relating to people and let the changes come when people want to change themselves.
Great. Okay, Nitin.
This is actually, I was not expecting this question. I think you can all tell I'm more of a pacifist, so I'm pretty anti-war in general. All I could say is kind of for as long as I've lived, it seems like Iran has always been 2 weeks away from a nuclear weapon. I don't know how they keep doing that. So, if we can kind of create better dialogue,
You're a peace lover.
I'm a peace lover. I'm just
I do understand exactly. Okay, Ishrat, what is your take on Iran war?
My take, I think, is like more about power than the people concerned. So to be honest, for Nitin's point, like Iran always 2 weeks away of the nuclear, so is North Korea, right? Neither of them hasn't really taken active action. Maybe they will, maybe not. But really, the question is like a conversation, identify why they're retaliating or want to retaliate. Like, I think if everybody starts to focus on like the people, the citizens benefit, rather than the power and who is in the power or how to control the power or how to seize the power, I think could potentially change.
Right.
It's more about who is controlling the world rather than how can you make the world better and peaceful.
Exactly. Yeah. So viewers, we see that we all are peace lovers and we all love to spread love. So thanks very much to Faiq, Nitin and Ishrat for their valuable and informative responses. Thanks to the studio engineers, and see you next month with a new episode, new theme, new panelist, and until then, stay tuned.